Hi, we're Sharon and Andy. Welcome to our channel, Think Alive.
In 2019 we bought an abandoned derelict finca that used to be a bodega in the Murcia region of Spain. The building is an empty shell with no services, water etc, and we're restoring it, doing all the work ourselves to give us an off-grid debt-free home.
In addition to that, self-sufficiency is very important to us, so we aim to produce as much of our own food as possible. And the idea behind these videos is to log our progress and provide you with something that you hopefully find interesting and informative. Welcome back, folks. It's a beautiful day today, so we thought we'd give you a tour of the garden. We did touch on it in our first video, but we're going to show you in a little bit more detail exactly what we're growing, where we're up to with it, and with a view to updating you, say once a month, on our progress. Let us know if that's something you're interested in. We're at the front of the house at the moment, and one of the first things we thought of when we came here was we're going to so miss our lemon tree back home. It's lovely just to go out and pick a lemon off the tree for pancake day or a gin and tonic before we eat. So we needed to think about planting something now. It's going to take 5 years, I'm sure, to produce any fruit. So we bought this lemon tree. It's a Eureka lemon tree. You can see to my right. It's a baby at the moment. There's not even any little buds on it this year. But hopefully a few years to come we'll have our lovely lemons. And to my left here, a Mandarin. The reason we chose Mandarin was because we have got an orange tree that we planted earlier on last year in our little orchard, but it's not doing very well. The thing is, here we live in a beautiful part of the world, beautiful sunshine this time of the year, but we have very cold winters. And the Mandarin can survive temperatures as little as -10. So that should be better, should do better than our orange tree. And we've planted them at the front of the house here simply because it's a south-facing property and we're sheltered from the north wind which comes off the mountains, which can be quite cruel in the winter. Moving up the land slightly, these are our melons, and I'm so excited about these. We grew these from seed from a slice of an old rotten melon that we'd had in the house, and we were going to just compost. We sowed about 24 seeds and every single one was a success. So I'm so excited. I just hope they're going to produce melons, but I don't see why not. It was an organic melon, so yeah, hopefully we'll get melons this year. These are our asparagus. We grew these from seed, started them off in the house January, I believe. Ideally, you grow asparagus from crowns. It speeds things up by a year because they do take about 4 years to give you your first harvest. Unfortunately, in Spain, you just cannot buy asparagus crowns. So we're trying them from seed. We grew about 16. We've got 10 that have survived. But Andy has also planted 75 seeds direct into the trench also, and we're hoping that some of them will come to fruition. In the first of our 3 raised beds we have carrots and leeks. Carrots apparently like very sandy soil, so we've mixed the compost here with some sand and they seem to be doing okay, albeit it's taken a few months for them to get to this stage. The leeks also are starting to come on now, although they've been very slow. The first of our carrots are due for harvest any time, but they don't seem to be bulking up enough yet. I think it's going to take longer here because it is very cold in the winter and they have survived the winter. In the second bed we've got garlic. We grew this from a bulb of garlic, organic garlic, purchased at the supermarket. There were 18 cloves, and as you can see it's doing really well. You sow garlic on the shortest day and harvest on the longest day. So we've got a while to go yet till 21st of June, but can't wait to try it. And finally, in our third raised bed we have the remainder of the melons that I said we put some in the trench, and these are what left over. We might as well try and grow them. And our salads, which are not looking so healthy. They were grown from seed and then transplanted probably 2-3 weeks ago now into the ground. They're alive, but they're just not growing very much. And this is our potato plantation. On the left here we've got the first earlies, they're Maris Bard, and to the right are King Edwards. So the Maris Bard we should be harvesting in June, and the King Edwards in August, September. You will not believe how difficult it is to get seed potatoes in Spain. In fact, it's impossible. So we had to send off these from Ireland. We both like our King Eddies, and Spanish potatoes, there's no taste to them, to be quite honest. You've got to put lots of stuff on them to make them taste of anything. So looking forward to harvesting these. And in the middle, we broke all the rules in November last year. I got a couple of rotten potatoes in the cupboard that were sprouting, and we thought we'd put them into a pot and see what happened. And as you can see, they've grown amazingly. We've had a bit of a dig down. There are potatoes there. So in the next few days, possibly a week, we'll be harvesting our first crop of potatoes. And these are reds, which again, you can't get very often in Spain. So exciting. And this is our tomato bed. First of all, got to speak about this specimen. It was something we grew from seed last year, and it just never died. So we brought it up, put it in front of the house, because it's south facing, shelter from the wind. And it's actually producing tomatoes. I can't believe it. Fantastic. In the remainder of this bed, you won't see very well. They've only just been transplanted. Cherry tomatoes, again grown from seed in the house and just put into the ground last week. The other bed is just standard tomatoes, looking a little bit bigger, but not much. And the third bed has our peppers. They're sweet Italian peppers grown from seed, started off indoors again, and transplanted out at the same time as the tomatoes, so about a week ago. And here we have beetroot. The ones you can see here were grown in the house in seed trays and transplanted out about a month ago now. To my left, these are the ones that we've sown directly into the soil about 3 weeks ago, about a week later than the ones we started off in the house. And they're popping up, they're doing okay. Quite pleased. One of the first things we planted was onions. We use a lot of onions in our cooking, and these were planted back in September last year. It said on the packet there's 4 to 5 months, it's already 6, but they are just starting now to bulb. I don't know whether you can see that. So hopefully by next month we'll have the first crop of onions. What we've tried to do is plant subsequent planting, so every month we plant another 24 onions with a view to having a continuous supply throughout the year. These are our calabathine, otherwise known as courgettes. The 3 to the left, slightly larger, we started off in pots, put 4 pots, and we've got 3 out of 4, so that's quite a good success rate. We planted these in the ground last week from their pots. And to the right, we just literally dropped 4 seeds straight into the ground. They'd taken ages to pop up, but now all of a sudden they're growing in leaps and bounds. And they look very healthy, nice and green. Finally, we've just started to prepare the 3 trenches here. Had to dig them out because in our first video, and as you can see, that we mentioned how stony the ground is here. So we've had the trenches dug out, we've added this nice loose soil back, minus the stones, and a couple of bags of compost on the top. Just got this one left to do, and this is going to house the broccoli, cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. And here are our broccoli, cauliflower and Brussels seedlings. They're just amazing. I was here 2 days ago. They were tiny little things like this, and we've turned up this morning and look at them. Fantastic. This is a tray of strawberry seeds. Nothing to show there at the moment. They can take up to 6 weeks to germinate, so we're still hopeful on those. And down on the floor you can see our next lot of onions coming along nicely. So they'll be transplanted out soon, they get a little bit bigger. Under the window we have mint and rosemary. Love mint and rosemary in cooking. We're also growing basil and parsley. I can't show you that because that's not here at the moment.
In addition to the 8 olive trees, we've also planted another 10 different fruit trees, 10-ish. In the foreground here we've got, what's that, Sharon?
Apricot.
Apricot, then peach, and then cherry. Then we've got a mini orchard here. We've got apple tree, plum tree, pear in the centre, pomegranate in the distance by the solar panels. We've got a little nispero there, and the star of them all, our little fig tree. He was actually a bit of a root cutting. We dug him up, planted him, didn't know what happened, and he was a little stick with 3 massive leaves on him, and he's been overwintered in the ground and he's doing great. This actually in the middle is our septic tank soakaway, so hopefully this will provide much needed water for these through the hot summers. Finally, on today's video, this is the Mandarin that was here originally. When we bought the property it was in a right sorry state, and we trimmed it all and pruned it back, and it's actually grown back looking really healthy, and we've actually got 2 mandarins on it. They're not quite ripe yet, and very small, but hopefully we have got a lot of blossom, as you can see there, all over it, so hopefully this year we'll get some decent fruit off it.
Well, that's it for today. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of future videos. Thanks for watching.